Well, Brett Kavanaugh's show trial is disturbing enough on its own terms, all these pompous know-nothings going on about stupid things. But worse than that, it appears to herald a new era in American justice, a time whose foremost prophet is turning out to be Senator Kirsten Gillibrand of New York. In this new world, a person is guilty as soon as accused of any crime. Questioning an accuser isn't a constitutional right. Instead, it's a crime. Michael Anton is a research fellow at Hillsdale College. He's a former national security official in the Trump administration. And he just wrote a piece on this new Gillibrand standard. He joins us tonight. Michael Anton, thank you very much for coming on. What is the Gillibrand standard you wrote about?
It is, as you said, and as your last guest said, it is that in certain cases, the accusation suffices to convict, that further investigation, presumption of innocence, right to confront accusers, none of that matters. The accuser raises the hand and says, I say this, and we're all obligated to accept it. Now, the Democrats, I think, in their defense would say, well, this isn't a trial, it's not a criminal trial. In this case, the judge is seeking a great thing, a seat on the Supreme Court that no one is entitled to, so we don't need to be held to these niceties of law. But once they've set this standard, essentially, if this precedent is allowed to hold, what will happen is any citizen of the United States will have an effective veto power over any member of any court or the cabinet. All they have to do is come forward and say, I accuse you of something 30 years ago. You can't question my sincerity. The accusation is enough to sow doubt. Therefore, you have to step down. In the piece, I described it as essentially akin to, being in a sporting event, going up to your opponent before the thing and with a baseball bat breaking his arm and then saying, well, too bad you can't play. I guess you got to forfeit and let me win. I mean, that's what this amounts to.
It's not a criminal trial, so why do you have a problem with that? I mean, I guess what I find so striking is the idea that those standards only apply in a strict legal setting. Those are the standards of fairness that apply to all human interaction, including the way you parent your children. Since when do they not count?
Since the Supreme Court is divided 5-4, and since this has become, as you say, a completely politicized event, and there was nothing in Brett Kavanaugh's record as a judge to sow any doubt about his qualifications. In fact, his qualifications, as you've pointed out many times, are beyond sterling. So the Democrats were clearly looking at a loss here. Brett Kavanaugh was going to get confirmed. They had to do something, so they came up with this. I think it sets a disastrous precedent for our country. It's also cruelly unfair to him and to his family.
It's awful, but what does it say quickly about the people doing it? If you say in public that fairness doesn't matter, what does that say about you?
That power is everything. All that matters is winning in the here and now. Collateral damage to institutions doesn't matter. Damage to people, damage to families, damage to little kids doesn't matter. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is power, holding on to it, gaining more of it.
Yeah, well, it's a secular worldview, I would say. Michael, thank you very much. Great to see you.
Thank you.
The deputy chairman of the DNC, Keith Ellison, has been cleared by his own party because they say the woman accusing him doesn't have videotape. Therefore, who cares what she says?